Hi everyone, this is Caitlin McCarthy, accredited nutritionist and transformational life coach. And today I wanted to talk to you about what you need to stop doing if you want to live a life of freedom. Now that is a life of freedom that is exactly the definition of freedom of what it is for you. No one else, just you, right? So what does it really take to live your most amazing, your most fun, your most freaking free feeling life ever? It takes courage. It takes courage. And in the spirit of courage, I've decided to go live with my hair out and dried naturally, no makeup, and just kind of basically au naturel. So I think that takes courage. And so to answer the question, or to tell you exactly what I mean by the title in my live stream right now, what you need to stop doing if you want to live a life of freedom: shrinking. You need to stop shrinking, right? So what do I mean by that? I mean you need to stop holding back. You need to stop censoring what it is you want, what it is you need, and who you are. I've written down a few of these, so if you see me kind of stealing a glance down, it's because I want to make sure that I get all of these in. You need to stop putting everyone else before you. You need to stop denying the intuitive prompts that you get, the intuitive urges. You need to stop and, you need to drop your story. You need to stop letting your life be absolutely controlled and dictated by society's norms, or what's meant to be normal, or just what's accepted. And you know what? Above all, we need, as women especially, we need to stop having our lives dictated by how big our asses are, how much we weigh on the scales this morning, and whether we look pretty enough or good enough or whatever enough, right? So what it takes to live your most amazing, fun, and freaking free feeling life is courage. And I was thinking about this a while ago, right? Well, not a while ago actually, it was fairly recently. I was thinking about it, and what stopped me from living my most amazingly free feeling life when I had an eating disorder for over 10 years as a teen and early adult was not tapping into the well of courage that I had, right? So when I was in the depths of that, which was bad enough, right? But then when my parents both passed away within a year of each other, when I was 20 and 21, I just absolutely, when my mum passed away, who passed away second, I just shrank even further into the depths of eating disorder, right? And it was already hard enough dealing with eating disorder on its own. And I say this with a smile on my face, but it's almost like an incredulous kind of smile. It's just like, wow, I was actually in the depths of that. Like, that is horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Anyway, I suppose that's not exactly the point. But what I always wonder when I think back to that is like, wow, how did I actually treat myself like that? How did I do that? How did I have those thoughts? And how did I dull myself so much? And it was through control. It was through me trying to control my external and my internal, so that people didn't actually see who I truly was. Because I didn't know whether that was good enough and whether that was okay. So that was why. And why did I do that? Because I didn't love me for who I was. I didn't love me at all. In fact, I actually despised myself. Let's be honest here. I despised myself because I wasn't perfect and I wasn't enough. According to who? People. Does it really matter if I'm not enough to everyone else? No. What really matters is I'm enough to me. So what I realized was that the turning point for me was I came to the realization that my searching for answers outside of myself was absolutely futile. There's actually literally no way you can get the answers for something that is, well, an eating disorder is really a soul crisis, let's be honest. It's never really about the food. It's about discontent within you. And that's basically what it is. If we want to get kind of a little bit woo-woo, and I'm just going to really quickly share my video, because why not? I want to get this message out to as many people as possible. So it's really a soul crisis. So what actually changed? I realized that I was searching for the answers in all the wrong places. And I was always trying to be good enough. I was always trying to be perfect. I was always trying to be something and someone else other than what I was. And that meant that I wasn't allowing myself to heal. So, and that was actually what got me into the mess in the first place. The fact that I was looking in all the wrong places for validation. So, this is such a deep topic, but I'm just scratching the surface. But when you are trying to look all the places outside of yourself, you're really not flexing your self-love muscle at all. And that's what this comes down to. I mentioned earlier that I didn't love myself enough to let myself express who I was, and in fact that I despised myself. And what that caused is even more discontent within me. And so once I started to actually let myself express who I was, that was when I started to heal. That was when I started to be able to release the negative food habits that I was in, or negative food routines. I was able to release the negative, well, just routines, because there was perfectionism and good enoughness and just seeking outside of myself everywhere. It wasn't just food, it was my relationships with my parents before they got sick and while they were sick. It was my relationship with my boyfriend that I met after my parents passed away. It was the way that I ran my household. It was the way that I cleaned. It was the way that I cooked. It was control around everything. So what I had to foster was courage. And there's a number of things that I wouldn't be able to do or have or be now if I hadn't started letting myself express who I truly was, letting myself heal, and letting myself be me. Now, one of those is I have a car that stands out like a sore thumb. And the amount of people that have said to me, only you would have that car. It is, and there's so many judgments that I had to be okay with, potential judgments that I had to be okay with in order to get this car. It seems like such a simple thing, but it's really profound. One, it's a luxury car. It's an Audi. So there are a number of judgments that come with like, you know, potentially being looked at as a rich bitch or something along those lines, and potentially even high maintenance because it's a nice car. I already had a car when I decided I wanted to get this one. It was actually my mum's car, and I didn't need a new car. I just decided that it was time and I was ready for a new car and that it was mine. And that was something that if even a year ago I wouldn't have been able to do that, because, you know, it was my mum's car. It was one of the last things that I had that reminded me of her and all that sort of stuff. So it requires a lot of courage in order to take that step. Oh, and the car is bright green. I actually drove it into the mechanic last week and I told him about it, but I don't know whether I told him it was bright green. And I drove in and he's just like, only you would get a bright green Audi. And it's true. I decided I wanted a unique car. Just because that's me. I wanted something funky and fun and bright and colourful, and that's me. So that's where I need courage, and I need to have a firm foundation of courage in order to actually do that. Own that car. Be okay with people looking at it. I don't mind, and it's not an ego thing. It's just, this is me, and it's okay if people look. It's okay if people think that stands out. It's okay. Another thing that I wouldn't be able to do publicly is travel a lot. I travel fairly regularly. Basically whenever I want to where I want, and that opens me up to a lot of, it sounds really awesome, and it is, but it also opens me up to a lot of jealousy and a lot of snide comments, because it's just like, oh, I wish I had your life. And, you know, I could take that as a jive at me, but it's okay. This is my life, and it's how I'm choosing to live it. Anyone else has that opportunity as well. You need to just start flexing your self-love muscle. And I love that. I love saying flexing your self-love muscle. It's like any other muscle that you need to work. If you start doing deadlifts at the gym, you might start at like 20 kilos, and then in a few months you could be deadlifting 50. You just need regular practice. And so the third thing that I wanted to mention that I do now that I wasn't able to do a relatively short time ago is I allow myself to evolve and change and be okay with that. And so my favorite saying is, this works for me right now until it doesn't. So it works until it doesn't. And so that's something that so many people get stuck in. Whether it's a food habit, whether it's an exercise routine, whether it's a bedtime routine, whatever it is, it could be simple things like that, or it could be much more complicated things. But people think that because they've decided to do something, that they have to stick with it, even if it's not serving them anymore. But here's the thing, you can change it, and it's okay. Whether it's in 2 days, 2 months, 2 years, or 2 hours, if it feels wrong to you, you do not need to keep doing it. And that is something that I've had to come to terms with, and I've had to cultivate a lot of courage. And the reason why I bring this up is because there is no need and no room in your life to just be settling for what you think is okay, or for what you think is normal, or for what you think is acceptable. The only person that your life needs to be acceptable to is you. Of course, if you have a partner or a family, then it needs to work in around them as well. But right now, I only have a partner, I don't have a family, so it's much easier to just kind of work things out. Well, I say easier, but sometimes it's not easier, but there's just less variables that I need to factor in. So I suppose my moral for this story is, what I would love to see so many, all women do, is to stop shrinking. Just stop shrinking your light. Stop letting yourself be controlled by what other people think, by what you think is okay. I can guarantee that nobody is thinking about you. Everybody is thinking about themselves. So if you have an urge, an intuitive nudge, just a feeling that you need to go do something or you need to go change something, or just you're ready to do things differently, follow that. Absolutely follow that. Each time you take a little step in the direction that feels good for you, even if there's a little bit of fear there, it bolsters your courage. So each time you flex your self-love muscle, otherwise known as a bicep curl, apparently, each time you do that, you cultivate more courage, which means that you feel more able to cultivate your self-love, to flex your self-love muscle, and then you cultivate more courage. And it's like this awesome cumulative effect. So anything that you believe is holding you back is simply a choice away from changing. Isn't that so empowering? Isn't that just so empowering? That is what I want to leave you with today. I would love for you to jump on over to MissCaitlinMcCarthy.com and sign up for my 10-day Divine Life program. It's free and it gives you lots of awesome goodies and tips and tricks for how to love yourself more, how to drop the drama around food, how to drop the perfectionism around exercise, and really just start living your most amazing, divine, fun, freaking free life ever now. So I hope you're all having a fantastic afternoon. I'm about to go and see Cirque du Soleil and I'm so excited, and I will speak to you all soon. Mwah. Bye.